WTL.
It's time!
WTL.
I think we got a show. Oh yeah, we got a show.
WTL.
Welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by the one, the only, the J.O. And I'm not talking
J.O.
No, I'm not talking JoJo, FloJo, any of that. We're talking Jeremy Odem. Jeremy, glad to have you back in the fold.
Man, it is so good to be here talking ball with the fellas.
You better believe it.
Nothing better.
You better believe it. And, you know, we're not getting rid of Jabron.
No.
Jake has been on fire with his NASCAR picks over the summer. Holy
He actually
smokes.
got me watching NASCAR.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you watch that, and he's got such conviction. He's like, SVG, it's a road course. And you're like, well, that sounds pretty simple.
Yeah.
And then it works.
It works. No,
Yeah.
He was so confident in his picks, and I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. My son was kind of getting into NASCAR, and I'm like, all right, I'll watch. It was incredible how on the nose he is.
and you know, different networks do different broadcasts, but if you watch it, it seems like Fox kind of antes up, you know, and man, they put some animations on there. They get some guys talking smack. You're like, what is going on? But it is fun. And Jake, you've been on fire. That's been a lot of fun. Those videos are all over YouTube and Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. So, we're keeping that. We're keeping Jake. We're keeping Jabron. Jabron's got a parlay coming up with UFC 319. 319?
Is it 319?
318. 319. It's DDP, and he's coming under a lot of fire. I know that, so it should be a lot of fun.
If it's a weekend, it's a UFC number. I mean, it's a big deal. Yeah. And Jabron's all over it.
Yeah. The big thing in UFC, they just signed a $7+ billion deal with CBS. Did you see this?
Yeah, ultimately killing pay-per-view from the looks of it.
Right.
So, huge deal with Paramount Plus.
Well, so everybody's happy, right? You and I are happy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we don't have to buy ESPN Plus, then buy it again to watch the content that we thought we bought.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
But I've already heard the blowback is, well, this is going to screw the fighters over because so much of their salaries come off that pay-per-view. So you already have this whole contingent already arguing against the model that's been set up with CBS.
I mean, obviously it changes how the fighters get paid, but the fighters will get paid.
It's
right. We have to believe
right.
that. Jake Paul will fight for the fighters if it comes down to it. Like,
oh, the problem child, the savior, Jake Paul. Yeah, it always comes down to semantics, and the top of the. You know, the lions will eat. The top of the food chain, they're going to eat.
Well, they're going to eat
regardless.
Pretty well.
So let's waste no time. We got to get right back into it here in a big way. We're talking Big Red this whole time. This is, I think we talked last year, was the 27th. This is the 28th year in a row that Nebraska won the offseason.
Yeah, they're on a roll.
I mean,
and
this is unbelievable.
They're unstoppable in the offseason. It gets me hyped. Like, just the juices flowing, and it's certainly not from the heat outside, okay? Husker Coach Rule, he had a heck of an offseason. Like, just going. I don't know if there was a small town he didn't hit, or just a town in general he didn't hit in the state of Nebraska.
Dude,
he's talking ball.
He's doing TikToks with Harper Murray.
Yeah.
He's just killing it.
He's just randomly popping in on radio shows. Like, it was fun to watch him have fun.
Yeah.
He felt more in his element, and that translates, hopefully, onto the football field.
Well, I tell you what, he uses a lot of coach speak, but man, it's what I want to hear, and I kind of believe him.
I do.
You know, we did our first episode of Nebraska Football Now, and we ran a whole bunch of his presser, and you buy into what he's selling.
Well, yeah. I
mean, you do, and it makes sense, right? Year three.
That's exactly right. That's what he said at the beginning.
Yep.
He said year 3, and then it felt like, all right, maybe he's ahead of schedule at some parts, and then it was same old at times.
Yeah.
But year 3 was always the number we were looking for, so here we are.
It is year 3. Nebraska's sitting at a 7.5 win total. And boy, oh boy, it's already collecting a lot of action on both sides, but it is standing firm at that 7.5, and I personally believe that's where it needs to be. I think 7.5 is the number.
Yeah, I mean, it could maybe inch up to 8.5, but like that's the thing is it's so. Oh no.
Oh, I don't know.
But the thing is that 7.5 is probably the number, and that's actually it feels good. as a Husker fan the last how many years and go, oh, they think we're going to win at least 7.
Yeah. Ooh, 8. We can do that?
Yeah.
In a regular season setting? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of felt good. But yeah, 7.5 feels about right. I mean, you break down the schedule, and I know we're going to get into everything, but like you break down the schedule, and it's like, all right, there's some wins there that we know we should get, but
right. I don't know. Over the last few years, there were wins I thought we should get, and it just didn't pan out.
But those seasons weren't season 3.
Those weren't season 3, and many of them that I go back to were under the Scott Frost era.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people don't speak his name. Well, we'll do it. We'll do
He had
it.
a heck of an off season too. We don't have to get into all that, but he had a heck of an off season.
How much time you got, buddy? He just can't. He can't take his foot out of his own mouth.
No, he really can't.
He just can't help himself, and that's fine. He's not here anymore. We don't need to keep beating a dead horse, kicking a dead horse, whatever he is to Nebraska fans now. All the rage and on USA Today, our punter, Archie Wilson.
Yeah.
You saw that emotional response.
Press conference.
Mitch Sherman getting right to it. He works for a number of different Husker publications. I do like his show, Locked On. That's pretty good. But of course, he cut right to it. What about your family? Don't you miss them? They're back in Australia. You haven't seen them for a long time. And the kid breaks down, he's crying, and that took off on X, took off on Twitter. And now these national syndications are picking up. I saw it was on Fox Sports. Tweeted it. So, but locally, Husker fans were talking about him, I don't know, for like the last 2 months.
Right.
Like the hype bug was building around our special teams with Eckler.
Heck of an athlete. I mean, and then
he's a rugby guy.
Yeah, I mean, he can kick with both feet. But Mitch Sherman, real quick. I've heard that they're calling him the new Oprah Winfrey. Like you get in his wheelhouse, he will make you cry. Like that is his thing now. Yeah. But no, this kid's great. He's a heck of an athlete. He's great to have on the team. He obviously cares.
Cares about his family.
Right.
Like that,
and he is a long ways away from home, so that's concerning for the future. But for this season, I mean, he's a heck of an athlete to have.
Yeah, and when this hype started to go, and it took on the national scene as well, and then it got out there, he can kick with his left foot, he can kick with his right foot. I'm like, okay, I got to get to this. Got right into the numbers. I saw we were favored by 6.5 over Cincinnati.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, now we got a punter though.
Here we go.
And I just watched a Lightborn highlight. Sorry, Lightborn, for that negative 3-yard punt. I'm like, okay, so we don't have to deal with that, right?
Yeah.
Guess how much the line moved from 6.5 favorite over Cincinnati?
I mean, he's good for at least a half a point, right?
No, I'd say it's 6.5.
Oh, say it's 6.5. Okay.
With a minus 150.
So you're telling me the punter didn't make that big of a difference?
And they don't care about the Eckler coming from Tennessee and bringing all of his energy. I like, that's another thing. I like to hear that.
Yes.
It sounds good. It looks good. Mitch Sherman's asking the right questions.
Yeah, he is.
But the odds makers are saying no. We're still at 6.5. I know we're talking win totals, but let's get right to it here with Cincinnati. How are we feeling about that game? Cincinnati was not a good team last year. I believe they only won 4 games. They're filling holes just like we are. Nebraska had to bring in a bunch of receivers and offensive weapons. I do like that running back is solidified for Nebraska. It appears that way. And quarterback. But this is kind of should feel like a home game, but it's not a home game. Why does Nebraska do this? Why can't we just have a home game against Akron?
That's like the concern is like it's a neutral site game. Everybody's going to be hyped up for it, right? Even Cincinnati.
Yep. And Kelsey's are going to be there.
It's prime time. It's on a Thursday, so everybody's watching this football game. We're hungry for football.
Yep.
That's the thing. I think we lose the home field advantage there. Even though it's going to be a sea of red, it's going to be different, right?
Yes.
So we lose that a little bit. I love that you brought up the running back situation because a lot of people aren't concerned. Coach Rule says he's not concerned about the running back position. That's why I'm concerned.
I love that.
If he's bringing it up right now, and I'm not concerned. I'm dying right now.
Oh, boy.
So I need to see it to believe it, I guess.
But it's been a running back by committee the last, I don't know how many years. Divine Ozigbo, right, was the last 1,000-yard rusher. Like, what's been going on at the University of Nebraska where we can't get a running back to just take over the job and run with it? And so you think they're trying to manufacture that, and they're trying to make Emmett the key guy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Emmett's going to walk in and look like he's the face of it, right? And hopefully he performs like it.
Yeah.
It just really concerns me when the head coach is just like, I'm not concerned about that. I've got other things to be concerned about.
He is kind of he does like the microphone. He doesn't shy away from it anyway. And now he's doing that kind of walk around the stadium where he talks with guys. And, oh, you had a good practice. Well, yeah, you're the fastest guy on the team. You're going to have a lot of good practices.
So we had a lot of good practices.
Yeah. So some of that stuff I do. What do you make of that? I'll tell you what I do make a lot of is Dana Holgorsen year 2.
Okay.
I really like that, and I think Butler, the defensive coordinator, being year 2.
Yeah.
Year 1 being the coordinator.
Yep.
But he's got a ton of experience. The more I look at it, the more I like it. He's an old Penn State guy.
Yep.
He's got that going for him. He would have been at Penn State longer, except he followed his guy to the pros, and he had some good pro defenses up there too. Not only for his last stint at Buffalo, but the Texans before that. So I think Butler's going to be just fine as the D coordinator. So I don't want to feel like a homer here, but I like the 6.5 with Nebraska. I also like the 7.5 over. I'm going 8 wins plus.
I'm with you. I think I like us to win that game outright. I like us to cover. I like the over. I think we're going to try to spotlight what Dylan can do in Arrowhead.
Yes.
Obviously, his hero
Little Mahomie,
plays
the
there.
Mahomes.
Right.
Yeah, come on now.
They're going to eat that up, right? Like that's going to be a big deal. The defense, to me, just has to prove that the third down stops can happen.
Right.
And then in the red zone, the stops can happen. We struggled last year. But otherwise, I think we should win this football game.
I feel that way too. You heard the timer. That means we're up against it. But I want you to follow up with that. Not only do you think we can win this game in Arrowhead, you think we can win it by a touchdown or more.
100%. Yeah. I think we win by 7 or more.
I just think our D-line, our offensive line, even though we brought some players in, we brought some really good players in, should be able to push around Cincinnati. Good enough to win by that 1 touchdown. You heard the horn. That means we're up against it. But let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. You know what that stands for. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by the one, the only, the J.O.
Oh, J.O.
And I'm not talking JoJo Siwa or any of that jazz. I'm talking Jeremy Odem.
I've never been compared to JoJo Siwa.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not comparing it.
Okay.
We're not going down that road.
No, not today. Maybe another day.
Hey, you got to get it out there, though. Your podcast is on fire. You just celebrated your 100th episode.
100th episode, Laugh With Me podcast. Check
go.
it out. It's available everywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. 100 episodes, guys. We've had this season, the Tiger King, Joe Exotic.
That had me in stitches. That is, if nothing else, that's a fascinating man.
Oh,
what? I think he's a man.
As far as we know, we could get into some topics, but just fascinating his side of the story of things. And if you've watched any of his stuff on Netflix, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, she's obsessed with me. She's just obsessed with this woman. All right, I never thought we'd get into Tiger King on WTL, but Here we are. We had a great discussion talking Husker football.
Yeah.
Of course, we have to talk Husker football. That's what we are. Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. We got to get right back into it. And our very first sports book that opened up here, I was actually on hand to watch the first legal sports bet ever cast in Nebraska. I was there to cover it for News Channel Nebraska.
Did you ride?
I did, and I lost.
Oh, no.
It was year 1 Colorado.
Okay.
And I'm like, we'll beat Colorado.
We should have won that bet.
I just did the money line even.
Yeah.
And no, couldn't do it.
Should have won that bet.
Should have.
Yep.
So, yeah, my very
Classic degenerate. You should have won that bet.
My very first bet ever didn't work out for the old Huskers. But good on Warhorse. They're sticking with it. They're actually expanding their book here. We have some Nebraska football season specials. There's too much intrigue here. We got to get right to it.
Oh, yes.
Let's start with, what do you want to start? Because there's 3 of them here. Which one do you want to talk over first?
Let's talk about. I know we kind of looked at over under and kind of where we thought they were going to be. They have some options for us. Okay, obviously, you and I both agree, right? We're the over 6.5. We're going to win that, right? Like
7.5. 7.5.
Right, but so they have options. You could do over 6.5. I think over 7.5. Absolutely, we get that. Do you think that this football team could win over 8.5? Are you willing to take that bet? Because it's plus 150 right now. If you were to jump on this,
I mean, it's plus money.
That's a 9-win team.
Yeah, I just think so much is riding on that Cincinnati game. And in years past, that game 1 has been such a hurdle. And it's one of those things where it's like you gotta show me. Yeah. At some point, you gotta, before I'm just gonna push my chips in. I gotta see it before I can believe it, I guess. And I wanna see it before I do that 8.5, 9-win type of talk. Because I was looking back on some of those Bo Pelini teams. Yep. Those were very talented, really good teams, and they still only won 9 games a year.
Yeah,
I mean, they sent droves of defensive backs and linebackers to the NFL, but still only won 9 games a year.
So I think people forget about that. They remember the 9 wins, but they forget just how talented those teams were.
Oh, they were great.
And well-disciplined. The coach wasn't, but the team itself, well-disciplined, right?
Yeah.
And made a difference in some big football games. We just haven't had that. I mean, not even remotely close to that kind of talent in years.
Calabrasca. We had Calabrasca.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, not quite. No, I can't go that far. Like I mentioned earlier, I like that 7.5. I think that's right where it needs to be, and I think the odds makers hit the nail on the head. That's why we haven't seen any movement one way or the other. So that means your national guys, your guys that are strolling into Vegas on their summer bender, having fun.
Yep.
They're looking at that and like, oh, that's about right. And half are betting low, half are betting high. It makes sense.
So let me ask you this. They've got Warhorse has this option, Big Ten wins for Nebraska. Okay. They play 9 conference games, over 4.5 wins.
Okay, so we got Michigan September 20th, Michigan State October 4th, Maryland the 11th, Minnesota October 17th, Northwestern should be a win, that's the 25th, then USC, UCLA to round it out, and then, well, that's in November. Then you got Penn State and Iowa to close it out. Man, that's tough.
It's tough.
That's really tough.
And everybody says this is a very manageable schedule for Nebraska this year, but when you really break it down, look at this.
I mean, you're counting on Michigan State, Maryland, Minnesota. It's up in Minneapolis. It's going to be at Huntington Bank Stadium, and then you also Northwestern should be a win. There, a lot of people have them really down,
really bad.
USC, I mean, they're getting a lot of preseason hype. They made a good run for off-season champs, but no, that was Nebraska, Michigan. Yeah, I'll give you your flowers, but no, Nebraska took that home. So at best, that's probably a toss-up, and that might be the second or third game that Nebraska's not favored.
Yep.
I'm looking at USC. I'm looking at Penn State, Michigan, possibly Iowa. A lot of the national pundits, writers, are really high on Iowa this year.
They really are.
It's weird to me.
I saw a clip. The quarterback rolled out, and he hit an out pass to the wide receiver for like a 8-yard gain or something, and it had like 1 million views or something. Hawkeye fans were going nuts. I'm like, that's probably a pretty electric play for them to see in the offseason. So
way to go. 7-yard, 8-yard out.
Okay.
Almost a first down.
Almost, yeah.
Well, the next post was by Barstool. Those guys.
Yep.
And it was of that same quarterback throwing a pick six, and I was so back.
I was so back.
Barstool never lets you. That's how sports is, right? But get it back to the matter of hands. You're really counting on a split with Penn State, Iowa, and a split with USC, UCLA. Can that happen?
Right.
Right. That's what you're looking at. I think it can happen.
And no slip-ups ahead of that, leading into that.
Got to beat Minnesota. Got to beat Northwestern.
Yep.
You just can't have those slip-ups. And I'm nervous enough for Game 1 Thursday night, national television, audience on ESPN, all those things. I'm nervous enough just about that. So I would be much more comfortable revisiting this after October 28th or August 28th.
Here's what worries about that Minnesota game. It's at Minnesota. We always have issues there, right?
Yes.
their head coach has already, at Big Ten Media Days, was already saying, hey, the team you got to look out for is Nebraska.
What a jerk.
So they already have that circled.
Yeah. Row the boat.
That's their game. That's the one they want. They know what kind of season they're set up for. So, I'm concerned about that game. I don't like that at all. USC's really being projected kind of in that same spot as Nebraska. So it's like that game could go either way, but they're not bad.
They're not bad
They're
at all.
not bad.
And UCLA, for whatever reason over the years, has always given Nebraska trouble.
Yep.
I mean, even that year we had to play them in the Holiday Bowl, boy, what was that, like
2017? A million years ago.
2017 or something like that, where we just beat the bricks off them in the regular season and then go out to the Holiday Bowl and like, sure, whatever. I want to get into more of these exotic specials.
Let's go.
Plus 700.
Okay.
Right? $7 bet wins me $70.
Okay.
Right?
Love that.
Okay. Nebraska Cornhusker football to start the 2025-26 regular season 7-0.
Oh, my.
7-0 to start the season, plus 700.
That is the ideal start for the Cornhuskers.
So I'll just read down the schedule here.
Yes.
Cincinnati.
Okay.
The Bearcats week 1. We've talked about that.
Yep.
Akron Zips.
We got to win that. Yep.
September 6th. Here it is. September 20th. Michigan Wolverines. All right.
That's the first challenge.
Yeah. Like what? How are we going to do that? And there's also another Cinderella, a powder puff on September 13th. That's going to be on FS1 at 11 o'clock kickoff. We got that one in the bag. What's the game 4 against Michigan is what we need to focus in on here. Do we really think they can do that?
Assuming everything goes to plan versus Cincinnati, you got to believe they're 3-0 heading into that Michigan game, and then you got to believe they're going to be hyped at home for the Wolverines.
Michigan's going to be hyped too.
Yeah. But you got to think this would be the game for Rule to hype them up that this is our time. This is our first game to put on the mantle and say we did it. Start 4 and going into a bye week, give it everything you got, right?
Okay. Yes. There's a bye week after that.
I don't know. That game scares me.
That's what I was going to say. I still don't know. I have heard a lot of, you listen to Michigan guys, oh, yeah, we're national champion contenders. We just beat Ohio. Yeah, right. You had an 8-win season last year.
Yep.
And a lot of people are projecting to have another 8-win season.
Right, yeah.
That in reality, that is a game we get at home we should get. But I'm not counting on it whatsoever. And then let's say I put on my rosy-colored, big red, crimson and cream glasses. I'm like, we got it, we win. And then we do win that. Take that bye week. We get to hear about how great we are. Well, you still got to come back and beat Michigan State and Maryland. Maryland, by the way, beat you a couple years ago, right? And you're heavy favorites. We've had our problems with Michigan State in the past. So even if you do get past Michigan, you still got to win the following 2 games, and then you have a whole slew of other issues. And that's one thing that Nebraska's been really bad at over this last 10, 15 years. You win a big game, you're riding high. Can you stay there? Can you actually perform at that level, stay at that level? We haven't seen it.
Well, that's to your point. Let's just say we go 6-0, and then we go into our very first road game of the season, and it's at Maryland. That's the part that really trips me up. So if you can't
too many things.
Yeah, I don't know. That 7-0 plus 700 sounds incredible because it's doable.
It is doable. It's very doable.
It's also quite the gamble for Husker fans.
Okay, so real quick here. You don't like the plus 1,500 10-0 start.
I do not.
10-0 start.
Do not like that one.
Don't worry about that.
Please do it, Huskers, but I don't like that one.
Yeah, it's fine. If you're going to get to 7-0, you might as well sprinkle the 10-0. And then the undefeated regular season, undefeated regular season, there's the horn, is at a plus 4,000. We don't think too much of that either.
No. Boy, there'd be some parties going on here in Nebraska, wouldn't there?
Boy, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it would.
That would be a lot of fun.
We got to host one if that's the case.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We would do that. But you heard the horn. That means we're up against it. But let's take a quick minute here to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. We're enjoying their signature beer, the Cardinal. I mean,
delicious.
It's hard to poke. It's hard to poke any holes in the Cardinal, isn't it?
Yeah. I
think it's their first beer they ever brewed there. And
is it really the first beer?
Yeah, in the basement.
Wow.
The backstory is really cool. I
didn't realize that was the home run. That was the one.
That's the home run. So, Nebraska Brewing Company, world class in every glass. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by the one, the only, the J.O.
Oh, it's so good to be here.
Jeremy Odem, hanging in there, feeling pretty good about Husker football.
Yeah, no, I'm loving how we're sitting heading into the first week, but we felt that way. We have felt that way.
We have.
Man, I love Big Red so much.
It's like deja vu all over again.
It really is.
Well, let's expand it out here. Let's talk some other Big Ten bold predictions.
Yeah.
And, tip your cap to Ohio State, kind of putting their money where their mouth is, and they got a lot of money. Guess who else has a lot of money? Texas. Game 1, and we noticed a slight discrepancy here between the polls, the betting odds, what's going on. This is why I love this show. Everybody's on Texas. They're ranked. Where are they ranked?
Yeah, they're ranked number 1.
Number 1 in the nation.
Yep. No, not really surprised there.
No. Archie Manning, he's so good.
Vegas seems to be surprised.
Oh, so what's going on with that?
So it turns out Ohio State's favored.
Oh, well.
How is the number 1 team in the nation underdog week 1?
Is it a toss-up, or what are we talking about? In Ohio State, they're not even ranked number 2.
No, they are number 3.
So how's the third ranked team a favorite over the number 1?
Wild. I don't know. You think it's lack of faith in the new quarterback in Austin? I don't know.
He played well last year. Archie did play well last year. And you'd expect he was going to play pretty darn good again this year. You see why there's so much buzz around Texas. And it's not like Ohio State's taking a backseat to anybody being ranked 3rd in the nation. No. But this is one of those deals where, no. The odds makers, the people that have actual money on the line, like Ohio State here.
They love Ohio State. I guess they like Ohio State. I wouldn't say they love Ohio State, but yeah, they like them.
What's the spread?
What did I see? 2.5?
2.5.
Yeah.
So less than a field goal.
And who knows where it'll end up, once we get closer to kickoff. But it's looking like it's going to be quite the football game either way. We're looking at 2 top teams week 1. Let's go. But interesting, very interesting that the number 3 ranked team in the country favored over number 1.
I just think Ohio State, with all their offensive weapons, even though they're replacing a quarterback, it doesn't matter. They just go out and get another quarterback.
They do.
They got Will Smith from Kansas State last year. You also got Smith, the receiver, who is a Heisman front runner right now. When just plug anybody in, when you have a trio like last year, they had 3 receivers, and you don't know who's going to end up being the Heisman favorite out of these 3. Like, what?
Yeah.
When you have talent like that, you really can just coach a kid to say, don't be a hero, just get the ball out to these guys and let them do their thing. And Will Howard did a fantastic job of that.
Amazing.
Oh, just to the tune of a national championship last year. So I think Ohio State's going to make another run like that. I actually like the line here at 2.5, and I like Ohio State.
Yeah, I do too.
And it's pretty tough for me to be a Big Ten homer. I'm an old Big 8, Big 12 guy. So I'm talking glowingly of Ohio State or any of the others isn't the thing I like to do. But here I get I do get to kick Texas a little bit. I don't like to buy into Texas too much.
Well, that's the thing. It's one of my favorite hobbies is to put down Texas.
Prime spot here, week 1.
So I love the idea of Ohio State going in and beating number 1 early. Mm-hmm. With that being said, I'm kind of an Arch Manning fan.
Yeah.
He's pretty good. I love his personality.
He's all right.
Everything about him just screams he's waiting for the NFL, right?
Yeah.
So I like Texas this season, but I love Ohio State winning this football game.
All right, just what's going around up with this, and I think Texas has to do a little traveling here, maybe a little more. Yep. Interestingly enough, your Big Ten title odds. Let's get right into that. Ohio State is your front runner at a plus 185, followed by a team that's ranked ahead of them. Penn State.
Yes.
So much being said right now with Penn State, and the more I read it, it's like me reading all the Husker stuff. I'm like, well, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, they have 2 All-American caliber running backs. That makes sense. An old line, the quarterback's coming back who had a career year last year. good God, I think I'm buying the Penn State stock.
That's the thing. You look at on paper their squad, and it's like, yeah, they're the number 2 team in the country. They should be 100% a playoff team, and they should have a shot at the national title. But I'll tell you what I told my son the other day when we were looking at the poll. It was like,
son, you're wrong.
No, I told him, I was like, Braden, this is going to be awesome. James Franklin is going to be on the hot seat, and here's why. I was like, he can't win these like big games. Like, he's got so much talent and he wins so many games, but there's always that game or two that trips them up, that gets in their heads, and for whatever reason, his leadership doesn't ever get them past that.
Right. Yeah, the rah-rah stuff, it does, like, it gets to a point where that's not going to get you over the hump.
Yeah.
You got to be just as fast and just as strong as Ohio State to beat them.
Yes.
And I think they are this year. They might not be as fast, but I think they're stronger, and I think it does translate. It's not the old Big Ten where it's 3 yards in a cloud of dust or whatever that talk is.
Yeah.
But I do think there's something to be said for their strong running game, their offensive line, their defensive line. Their defense, that's what people were worried about. It's like, no, this is Penn State. They're going to be fine. I like their 2 running backs, and I like their quarterback coming back. I think they're going to be stable enough. And I think they can they have 2 huge games, Oregon and Ohio State. If they just split those, they could still win the Big Ten. All they got to do is split those 2. And I really think they can push around Oregon. I think Oregon's fast. They're going to be flying high.
They do
Dan
Oregon
Lanning
things,
is so good out there. But if I had to go one way or the other, I think they can get one of those 2, and I think it's Oregon.
Okay, so hear me out. They say they split those games, right? Oregon, Ohio State.
Yeah.
But then they got to play one of those 2 teams possibly again in the Big Ten championship. So then we're talking maybe a split situation again.
Split it again.
I mean,
double down.
There's just I don't know that I like Penn State in this situation, but heck of a football team. So, I mean, they're obviously going to be in the mix towards the end anyway.
Well, here's another team that's catching a lot of buzz here. Let's go with Michigan. Let's talk about Michigan at 8.5. Coach, year 2, they beat Ohio State, and that just by beating Ohio State, it seems like everything is fine. Like, we beat Ohio State. It doesn't matter that we lost 4 games that we shouldn't have lost. I don't know. Did they get that much better?
No.
So
they're the same team. They're ranked 14th in the country right now. Seems high.
I'm seeing a lot of these articles in these syndicates and these people that get paid to go on ESPN and other shows saying the best bet is taking the over on Michigan. I'm like, no, it's the under.
It's the under,
right?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think they're definitely feeling themselves, but they didn't necessarily add to the cupboard. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not buying Michigan this year, and that's why I thought we have just as good a shot of beating them this season, and that's not a knock on Nebraska at all. I just feel like we're going to hang with those guys because they're not any better than they have been last season.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild too. They're in the 4 spot to take down the Big Ten. Their odds is at a plus 1,000, so I mean, it's still considered a long shot. But Nebraska's way down the totem pole at plus 3,600.
Yeah, how much of that's like respect to what Michigan has been?
Right.
In recent years, so
and I think they're just taking advantage of this happens a lot to Husker fans. It's like I'm the kettle calling it black or however you say that. I just think these books are like, this is a risk we can take.
Yeah,
let's put this out in front of the maize and blue and see what
We're
happens.
Gonna get that Michigan money.
I really think that's what's happening here because it doesn't make sense. Like I really don't think it makes sense that Michigan is ranked this high and why they're getting this good of odds. They're ahead of USC.
Yeah, I think that's actually the play. I think you're right. I think this was about making money
I mean,
at the house.
If I'm taking a flyer, I might take Iowa over Michigan at this point.
Yeah, no, Iowa plus 3,300. They're what? Let's see, 6th, 7th, 8th, favorite to win the Big Ten. Not too shabby because they're due. I mean, if you look at what Conference does.
They're under.
You know what? Our punter is so much better than their punter. Okay, let's not even go there. But yeah, their punting game's elite. But yeah, the quarterback throwing the 8-yard out that took Twitter by storm. Iowa fans are in a tizzy,
wow,
and I'm happy for them.
Yeah,
I'm happy for them.
Me too. But at the end of the day, it's going to be running between the tackles, something that they've been just phenomenal
Pretty good at,
which is going to put them in a spot where it's like, oh my God, they got one loss and they're going up against an Ohio State or something to get into that championship game, and why not?
Why not?
Yeah. So I like Iowa ahead of Michigan. We kind of like buried one of the leads here. Oregon.
Yeah, Oregon.
Dan Lanning. I mean, just I know he's got a new quarterback, but I don't care. I mean, this is like last year with Ohio State where it's like, well, that kid from Kansas State, is he that good? Will he be able to handle? I don't care. This is a program where they can plug and play.
You said it. They're a program. There's a system in play. It doesn't matter the head coach. It doesn't matter the quarterback. They have a system that works, and they go out there and they win a whole bunch of games. Yeah. And they're doing it in the Big Ten where people said, okay, let's see what's up now. They're doing it in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
There's no reason to believe they won't continue to do that, and they should be in the mix at the tippy top for national title.
Yeah. Oregon has always had speed, not only on offense, but on defense, and that can cover up a lot of, blemishes here or there, your size or whatever.
Right.
Like just send a blitz here, send a blitz there, and, get them behind the sticks. They've always been really good at that. Now they are getting some of those big dudes, especially on their offensive line. Look out, because Dan Lanning is a hell of a coach, and he understood that. I feel like early on, like, okay, if I'm gonna compete with an Ohio State, I am gonna have to get big up front, or a Penn State, and we're gonna see a lot of that this year. Oregon, there's a horn, so that means we're up against it. But I'm a believer in Oregon. I just don't know if I'm a believer in them enough to put them ahead of Penn State or Ohio State. So I like that plus 360 right behind those two.
I look forward to seeing them go head-to-head with both of those teams. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
All right, well, you heard the horn. That means we're up against it. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Classen, joined by J.O. The J.O. Jeremy Odem. I believe your handle on X. I'm going to give it to you. What is it? J.O. of Nebraska?
J.O. from Nebraska. From Nebraska.
You just always pop up on my feed, so I just see your logo there, so I totally get it. And then, of course, I'm subscribed to the Laugh With Me.
Yep, Laugh With Me podcast. You can find me at Laugh With Me Pod. You can listen to it anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast.
Where do you get those wild graphics? I mean, you're like a world traveler. You're rubbing shoulders with Michael Jordan, crazy stuff.
Well, yeah, I love to live with the elite. I don't know what kind of world you live in, Andy, but
how does the other half live?
Yeah, how does the other half live?
You like the finer things in life. No, I get it. I like that. Hey, you're here. So I thought we could shift gears here on this final segment. We got to keep it hot. We got to keep it rolling. We talked a lot of Big Ten football, a lot of Husker football, deservingly so. I mean,
it's that time.
It is that time. Let's take a minute to get into fantasy football on the pro level. The top picks, the sleeper picks, all those things. I thought we could kind of go position by position, see how many we can get in here.
Sure.
But let's start with quarterback. And boy, your starting quarterback, your number one overall, is going in the third or fourth round in a lot of mock drafts, and that is Josh Allen. And I have no arguments with that. If you want to say Lamar Jackson, fine. I think for my team, I'm going to hold out and hopefully get like a Jaden Daniels or a Jalen Hurts in the fourth, fifth round. But I would love to get Josh, but I don't think he's going to fall to me. And I love getting those running backs up front.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It all depends on your strategy. What are you trying to piece together? But you look at a quarterback, if you're not going to get Lamar Jackson, you're not going to get Josh Allen, who appear to be tippy top. These are the prime guys you're going to get. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, you wait later. That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting later in, around the ninth round.
Lamar Jackson's going in round 3 right now, mid round 3.
For Josh Allen?
And Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, but even still, how much could you load up your team knowing there's not that big of a gap at quarterback point-wise per week
right.
if you don't get one of those guys?
Okay.
So let's say they're off the board and you're looking at, all right, here's where I need to go. You could get Justin Herbert.
No, I knew it.
In the 9th round.
We're Charger Homer here. Charger Homer.
He's a guy that spent the back half of last year's NFL season in the top 10 of scoring of quarterbacks. Mm-hmm. Also, this season, he's going to have Keenan Allen back, who's a first down machine, who's a guy that knows Justin Herbert inside and out.
All right. I knew that's exactly where you're going with the Herbert. I will admit, I was a little surprised when I started looking into some of these numbers, and a lot of these services have him as the 15th, 16th overall quarterback, and I don't know where this disrespect's coming from. He stacks up a ton of yards. Yeah. Is it the Harbaugh effect where he's going to be handing the ball off? He doesn't pass as much anymore. Is that what's going on here?
But we didn't see that last year. I mean, he still had a pretty electric, especially on the fantasy side, season on the back end of the year. So I wouldn't say Harbaugh affected him nearly as much as people thought.
Look at these names ranked ahead of Herbert right now. Drake May, Kyler Murray, Caleb Williams, Justin Fields is a top 10 quarterback in a lot of these rankings. That just really Justin Fields?
Absolutely insane that Justin Fields is ahead of Justin Herbert.
And in a weird demonic twist, because I'm a Bears fan, he's ranked ahead of Caleb Williams. Like, what are we doing?
I'll give you a name, though, that is after Justin Herbert. He's actually the 19th ranked, around the 19th ranked quarterback. So you can get him in like the 11th round. J.J. McCarthy, Minnesota Vikings. Hear me out on this.
All right. I'll hear you.
The quarterbacks that the Vikings have used the last 2 seasons are guys that when they started the season, nobody would have been like, yeah, that's my guy. Like, he's going to lead my team to 10 wins or so.
Yeah.
Yet they do it, right? Their head coach is like this quarterback guru. Like, he just gets guys, even if they show up that week, he produces, right?
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy has the skill set in order to just plug right in. The Vikings last season, 80% of their touchdowns came from passing.
Okay.
I love the weapons around J.J. McCarthy, and I trust that he spent last season learning this offense and being involved with this football team.
I do like that he took a year to learn the system, and he was on the sidelines, and he watched and he learned. What you just said there actually gave me a lot more confidence in Hawkinson, the tight end.
Yes.
I mean, he's highly ranked, but he's not one of the top-tier guys.
Right.
I really think he might be a guy to go for there. A name that ends up behind JJ and a lot of these, rankings, these various sites wherever you're getting your information from, Jared Goff. He airs it out, and he plays so well in the Dome. He's going to play a lot of his games on turf this year.
Yeah, he's a guy that definitely produces and has proven in Detroit. He's lightning. How long does that last? I don't know.
Well, 12 games. Right?
All right. I love that you had the answer for that.
I mean, I'm just going off of where Detroit starts and where they end, He's your perfect example of, okay, if you don't get Josh Allen, if you don't get Jackson or Daniels, even Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow, wait deep. And then what's the difference between Brock Purdy, Baker Mayfield in the top 10, or a J.J. McCarthy or a Jared Goff, who are down around the 20th rank?
There's nothing different. So, you take one of those. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's move on over to running backs. That's where a lot of money is made in the fantasy football realm. It's such a hot commodity. They fly off in the earlier rounds. What do you got for me? B.J. Robinson is kind of your consensus number one. It's Saquon Barkley. I'm still trying to clean the egg off of my face from last year. I went on a tangent on why I hated Saquon Barkley, and I was telling people, don't draft him. How'd that go? How'd that go? He's just on the cover of Madden jumping over somebody backwards.
Yeah.
Like,
Wild.
I just saw an older, aging running back going to a new team within the division. Why would you ever, usually when you see those division trades, it's like,
there's something up.
Those idiots over there. No, the Giants just acting like the Giants, and here's your perennial Pro Bowler. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so
is this your Christian McCaffrey, that guy that is, because I'm saying don't draft Christian McCaffrey high. I think he's back around this time. He goes on, off in the Christian. He was off last year. He's on this year. So he's worth the first round pick right now.
Yes, he is. For me, he is. He's 4th overall. He's fallen. He's still in the first round in many mock drafts.
Yeah.
I like Christian in the first round. I think he's one of those guys where you have to roll the dice. He's the exact opposite of B.J. Robinson, where consistently 80 to 100 yards, maybe a touchdown, probably a touchdown,
yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, it's either 2 touchdowns a week, 70 yards receiving, 80 yards rushing every week, or I'm hurt again, my lateral or my hip, I don't know.
Well, that's my concern, is you eat up your top pick on a guy who's not even playing most weeks, and you already know you've got bye weeks to deal with.
Well, then I put Barkley in that category. I mean, I'll do it again. I'll get buried by Saquon Barkley. He gets hurt. He got hurt a lot in the past. And he's a year older now, and he played a lot of games last year, and he had to run the ball a lot last year. So I like Gibbs from Detroit. I like Robinson. But those guys are going to be gone unless you're in the top 3 picks. So who else you got other than McCaffrey to take?
I like in the 3rd round, Omarion Hampton, rookie running back, LAC, those Los Angeles
Chargers.
Such
a homer. You're such a homer.
I knew you were going to say that, but here's the thing. Here's the thing with the Chargers. The starting running back blew his eye up on the 4th of July. Najee Harris can't even see out of one of his eyes right now.
He had a lot of fun at the 4th, and it was freedom.
Did.
I'm on board.
Yeah, I love America as much as the next guy, but you got to be able to perform at work. And Najee Harris isn't even training with the team still.
That's tough.
I like the idea of Hampton being able to get the majority of the snaps there early.
That makes a lot of sense. Where's he going in a lot of mock drafts?
Najee Harris?
Not Najee.
Oh, yeah, Hampton. He's actually going in the middle of the 3rd round right now.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so 13th running back overall, kind of in that mix. So his stock is rising, so that's not necessarily like, oh, that's a huge sleeper. We can kind of see where he's at. But a guy that I do like that maybe not a lot of people are talking about is Braylon Allen. He's the backup running back for the Jets. You can find him in like the 13th round. He performed pretty good when he had opportunities last year.
Yeah.
And I like him kind of getting more in that timeshare.
Swing pass type of thing.
Yes.
And that's Justin Fields' best play is him almost getting sacked, getting out of the sack, then almost getting sacked again, and then finding his release valve in the running back who is supposed to be blocking.
Which he now has a quarterback to be able to help him out there. So I love this guy as a guy you can get late rounds that might even be a plug and play early in your season.
Yeah, a guy that I've seen climbing the ranks here, Bucky Irving.
Oh, yes.
Tampa Bay. I think he's in the same boat as Hampton, where it makes a lot of sense. He's going to be playing beside Baker Mayfield. I think just his demeanor, Baker's demeanor, and I think Tampa Bay, that's their identity. Smash mouth, get back to it. And when a team plays to kind of their identity, they're at their best. And it looks like Bucky's going to be toting the rock for him.
Well, that's the thing. Bucky should get a lot of action. They've had some.
Give it to me, Bucky.
They've had some injuries on their biggest playmakers over the last couple of seasons for the Bucs. They're aging. Baker's gonna sling it. Baker's gonna make things happen. I love Baker for that. He's a great fantasy quarterback in that regard. He makes everybody else better.
Yes.
But he's gonna definitely get opportunities to score because of the guys he's got around him.
Yeah. Okay, I gotta ask you about this guy. Chuba Hubbard over there at Carolina. He's just below these guys in the rankings. Traditionally, Carolina has been a pretty darn good rushing team, and you could count on that. Even when they did their split back stuff. But I just don't know if I'm split on that. I just can't decide. Am I going to spend that 3rd round, 4th round pick on this guy?
Didn't Chuba win some leagues for people last year?
He did.
Is he going
to do it again, though?
I like him.
Okay.
I think the Panthers are going to be better, and Jabron's going to be very happy about that.
He is. Not to Jabron. He couldn't be here. We had to bring up your Panther. I think I think he's going to do just fine, and I think he's a safe pick. I really do. I'll tell you what, though. We're out of time.
Oh, my.
We ran it out.
Wow.
So, J.O., we're going to keep the boat rolling. We're going to be right back next week. I got to thank you and everybody out there. This has been WTL.